Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I have another clothing review. If you haven't seen my other clothing reviews, I'll have some linked down below in the description for you, along with some in the little corner at the top of the video here. If you're new here, welcome. We talk about fashion, beauty, and soon maybe art. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see. If you're new to my reviews, I tend to wear the items for a day or two or however long I need to wear the dress in order to develop my thoughts and opinions on the dress before actually talking about it. So you know what an actual review is supposed to be, not a first impression. So let's just get into it. So today I'm going to be reviewing some dresses from the brand Disturbia. If you are unfamiliar with them, they are a UK-based alternative clothing brand. I never actually purchased any of their dresses before. I've purchased shirts and patches and little small things like that as gifts for other people, but I've never actually purchased any of their women's dresses. Never have. So this is a kind of new experience for me, and this is generally what I experienced on the first go of wearing all of these dresses. I've worn all these dresses one time before filming this video, and I've worn them for basically the entire day, with the exception of one dress, and you'll see why. But let's just get into the first dress. Oh, and one last thing before I proceed. Two of the dresses that I'm going to be talking about today are off of the clearance rack, so I'm unsure if you'll be able to get them by the time you see this video. I'll still have them linked down below. Hopefully the links still work by the time you see this video, but just as like an FYI. But from what it seems like, Disturbia likes to use similar dress shapes over and over again, like most brands. So you can use this as kind of like a reference for what to expect of a particular dress shape. So let us proceed. So this first dress that I'm talking about is one of those clearance dresses. This is the Morgan mini dress, if I'm not mistaken. It has a really pretty kind of, I want to say polyester type of material. Has a really nice kind of lace detailing that goes all the way from under the bust right here, and it extends all the way in the back of the dress as well here. It's a type of middle grade lace, if I could describe it as that. It's not incredibly cheap, but it's not like super luxurious. So it's kind of like a middle grade sort of lace. It kind of reminds me of the type of lace that you would see on a tablecloth for some reason, but that's just the middle part of the dress. It has these puff sleeves here, so it puffs up on your shoulder. Has two buttons right here at the sleeve that are functionable, so you can open or close them, but they do not have any stretch. The dress has an invisible zipper here in the back that sometimes tends to get stuck over this lace portion. So let's see if it'll actually zip up or zip down properly. So it kind of gets stuck there. Sometimes it zips well, sometimes it doesn't. Like there, it's kind of getting stuck, and then you kind of have to finagle with the dress a little bit. Not my favorite thing with this dress, but that's kind of an issue there. It does have these little clasps right here if you want extra security for whatever reason. I personally don't use them because I feel like the zipper goes all the way just fine. The front detail buttons, they are not functionable, so they just kind of are sewn on. As you can see back here, it's just like stitched on. They're not functioning or anything, so they're just decoration. The dress actually stops at the knee, and generally photographs and videos fairly well, which is discouraging because that is not actually what you experience. So before I get in with my complaints about this dress, I'm going to tell you guys what the dress is made out of and the care instructions for it for those that are interested. So the dress is made out of 100% polyester. So that means this dress has absolutely no stretch whatsoever. And I learned the hard way. And as for fabric care instructions, you are supposed to hand wash it in cold water with similar colors, and that you're supposed to lay it flat to dry, and that you can iron it if you need to. So pretty basic stuff. I mainly wash my stuff in cold water, and I do a lot of hand washing as well. But I have washed this dress on delicates in my washing machine with a little bit of fabric soap, and I've had no issues so far. But if you're cautious with preserving the integrity of the dress, of course you can hand wash it. So now my complaints. I got some opinions about this dress. I got some spicy opinions maybe. So the dress fits very beautifully at the waist, so it really fits nicely on the waist and drapes very nicely from the waist down. My problems are all from the waist up, like most of my issues in my life. So the dress has a lot of bagginess, as you're going to see. It is very baggy, so especially when you sit down. So when you sit down, it just kind of bunches up and turns into this giant sack on your chest, which you could probably like fit stuff in if you think about it. It's very baggy. I can fit my whole hand. I can actually go in and like shake up the fabric. And if I bend down, you see this giant gaping hole, which you can like probably throw a pencil through. Like it's like a little tunnel. Like, pew! It's like a little tunnel. It's kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, I'm like, this is the reality of this dress. So I'm not sure why that is, but there is a lot of fabric here. And I'm not sure how to even begin to fix it. I might have to go talk to a seamstress or someone who sews clothing to figure out how I would even make this dress wearable. Because of the way the dress is currently, it is not very wearable, at least in this region. And another region, it will be the sleeves, which is a very strange place to have issues. At least for me personally, I never really have had issues with sleeves not fitting properly. This is probably the first dress that I've had the issue with the sleeves. So as I mentioned earlier, there are 2 buttons here that you can loosen if you need a little bit extra room, but it honestly doesn't make much of a difference. The dress here is very, very tight. I mentioned earlier that it's made out of polyester, so there's no stretch like this dress, no. It is not made out of elastic like this particular sleeve is. So when I wear this dress, it feels like I have something constricting my arm, and it is kind of painful. I wore this dress for about 8 hours, so almost an entire quote-unquote workday, until I had to take it off because the sleeves were so uncomfortable on me that I found a little tiny kind of like impression mark on my skin because of how tight the sleeve was. And my arms aren't that big. They're not that big. I'll put my arm size right here, but they're not that big. So it was kind of strange that this dress had so much bagginess in the chest region, but was so tight in the sleeve, but fit great from the waist down. I don't know what the issue with that is. I don't know why like the dress is so like wonky in that regard. Maybe someone who actually stitches clothes could probably tell me why that is, but generally the way the dress is, it's not very wearable for me, unless I want to hurt myself, which I know there's some people out there who like to be in pain for the sake of fashion. I'm not one of those people. I grew past that part of my life. Being in pain isn't worth it, even for fashion. At least that's just my thoughts. The dress is very tight on the sleeves, and that in itself makes it wearable. On top of it, the bagginess of the chest region. Other than that, the dress is very well made. It's a cute dress. It looks great in photos and it looks great on video, but I'm not happy with this dress. Like, I expected a lot more from it. I didn't expect it to be like very inconsistent in several different parts. As for the size that I got a UK size 8. So I don't know if I should have gone a size down, but if I would have gone a size down, then the waist would have been too tight. So I think I got the best size that I could get, but I'm not sure if the sizing has to do anything with the way it fits. But overall, as for the score that I'm going to give this dress, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 bats, mainly because the dress is completely unwearable for me. Now, you guys may have a different experience from my own experience, but for me, the dress is unwearable. And if I can't wear the dress, there's no point in having it. So I haven't decided if I'm going to talk to a seamstress to get it altered and fixed, or to see what we can do to fix the dress, or if I'm just going to sell it to someone who has smaller arms and bigger breasts. So that's just kind of my takeaway on that. The dress is pretty cute. Like, it's pretty cute. It's really nicely made. It isn't that hot either for the summer. It's just, I can't wear it. And like, look, it's even like it even has a lining, guys. It has a lining. But basically, long story short, I really wanted to like this dress, and the way it performed was not how I expected it to. So 2 bats out of 5. All right, so now we're on to slightly nicer territory or waters. This is another dress. This is the Wednesday Addams shirt dress. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong, but this is what the dress looks like. It's basically inspired by, you know, the dress that Wednesday Addams wears in the Addams family. So it has this really pretty pointy collar. It has a bunch of buttons, and I have lost a bunch of buttons. Some of them came already lost, and some of them fell off while I was trying it on for the first time. I did get extra buttons with this dress. That was like a little baggie with like 2 buttons, a little white button and a little black button, but it looks like I might need more buttons, if you know what I'm talking about. The dress is, I believe, also polyester, but it has a little bit of stretch, so there might be a little bit of spandex or elastane in this dress. It is fairly, really thick, so it is very warm. Probably warmer than the previous dress. Definitely it's more of like a colder weather type of dress. It is a fairly nice type of smooth fabric. Like, I'm pretty sure this might be a polyester. I haven't actually checked the material label, but I also got this in a size 8. As for dress details, it has the very thick white collar. It is not a detachable collar, so it is stitched right onto it. I know there's some dress brands that offer a detachable collar. This is not one of them. It does have a white button that goes right at the top of the dress, and which is lost because it fell off. And there's a couple other buttons that go all the way down the dress, along with a very wide keyhole opening right here in the center. The buttons seem to be fabric covered, so they're covered with the same fabric as the dress, but it seems like they're not glued down properly, so you might lose a couple of little buttons when you wear it or do any kind of action to the dress, such as unbagging it or unboxing it. When I unboxed this dress, 2 of the buttons were just flying around, and then I lost another one trying it on, so that's nice. As for material, this dress is made out of 95% polyester and 5% elastane, so I wasn't that off. As for care instructions, you hand wash it in cold water with similar colors, and you lay it flat to dry. So basically the same as the other dress. Let me see if there's any other little minor details I can tell you. The waist does seem to kind of create this little, let me see if I can bend the dress so you guys can see it. It's kind of this little V shape, the kind of little V shape that goes right under where your boobies are supposed to lay. And it does have like little darts to give your boobie shape as well. And it's also darted in the back as well. So you can see the little darts right there as well. As for this dress was a lot more forgiving than the previous dress, obviously because it has some stretch to it. But the only main issues I found with this dress was that the keyhole was a little too big for my personal liking. I tried this with many bras and bralettes, because I didn't want, you know, my bra to be noticeable through the keyhole, but literally all my bras were noticeable through the keyhole, including like one of my fancy like push-up bras that has just like the little stripe that's all the way down low, and it's just like the cups are all the way to the side for like those really fancy dresses. You can even see the line still and through the keyhole. So it's a little too big for me personally. And also there seems to be a lot more fabric in the chest as well. So a similar issue to the previous dress where there's like a lot of fabric, but this is an easier fix than the other one, I think, because I just had to like pull it here a little bit and it fixed the problem right away. But other than that, that's like the main issue I had, that and the buttons. The buttons being gone was kind of frustrating, so I might just change out the buttons to a different style button, just so I don't have to keep dealing with losing more buttons in the future. But Other than that, it's a very simple, basic dress. I'm not sure if I would repurchase this dress though if it got all messed up, since I do have to do a little bit of alteration to it, albeit not a lot of alteration. And there were no issues in the sleeves for this one. They weren't too tight or anything like that. And like the previous dress, it fit rather well from the waist down. The waist was probably like a tiny bit baggy, but not very much. So maybe for this dress, I'm not sure what your particular sizing could be, but you might want to go a size down perhaps from your usual sizing. I picked the size 8, the UK size 8, since it does have a little bit of stretch. I think you could probably get away with getting a smaller size. But if you like to be safe and sorry, like me, then you can just get your normal size, and you might have to do with a little bit of bagginess, but that's okay overall. So that is basically this dress. And also on a smaller detail that I almost forgot to mention, there's that little pleat right underneath the dress. So you see this tiny little pleat right here, which adds a little bit more flair to the dress. Overall though, not a bad dress. I just need a couple of alterations to make it fit better to my body. And also, I also not need to wear it right now because it is very, very hot where I am. Very hot. So I would give this dress 3.5 bats out of 5. I'm giving it 3.5 mainly because of all the buttons that I've lost. I personally don't like extra work because I'm lazy. So if I have to replace buttons that shouldn't be falling off of the garment upon first purchase, it's gonna start getting knocked down in my book. And also it's just a little too baggy in the chest like I mentioned earlier. So for that reason, I'm going to knock it down to 3.5 bats out of 5. But overall, it's not a bad dress. And like always, this is just my personal experience. Your experience might be different, but there's that. So 3.5 bats out of 5 for this dress. And now I'm going to end on a positive note, so you guys don't think I'm just shitting on this brand for no reason. This is the Felis mini dress from Disturbia. This print, I've seen it like already knocked off by other brands. I think Shein has made their own knockoff version of this print because it did sell out rather quickly, but now Disturbia does have this fabric or this print on a multitude of different products on their website. And I highly encourage you guys to actually purchase it directly from Disturbia because they are the originators of this print. And you can just support basically an independent brand and not like Shein or something like that. So we got this really pretty cat print on the dress. It's almost like a smock dress in a way. Very, very lightweight, probably a polyester or a viscose material. Really pretty cats of all kinds on the dress. I think it's a very whimsical kind of, oh, it's charming. I think the print is rather charming. You get all kinds of different crystals and cats and different colors. And it's just, I think it's really cute. I got this in a size 8 as well, a UK size 8. If you're wondering, it does have some functional buttons on the front. I'll try to like fold the dress down so you can see. There's some buttons that go down the front of the dress. And they are functional buttons. I didn't lose any buttons this time. All the buttons are attached. So you can just unbutton the dress and get it into it like a shirt or like a button up. Or you can just throw it over your head. I've done both. Now the way this dress is meant to be worn is almost like a wrap dress. So there is a strap here and a strap here. And then essentially you just tie it to the back of your person. And you can adjust it to basically how loose or how tight you want the dress to fit. So I didn't have any boobage problems with this dress. I didn't have any kind of problems with this dress, really. The sleeves fit really nicely. It was very lightweight, so my favorite dress so far for the summer. It's like very, very comfortable, very airy. And I could adjust how tight or how loose I wanted the dress to be, which is really nice. I generally like wrap style clothing just because of how much you can customize the fit. So that's already like a win in my book. So let me just flip the inside of the dress so I can tell you guys the actual material, just so you guys don't have to hear me guessing. So this material is also polyester. So it's 100% polyester. So no spandex, no nothing, no stretch. And it is the same care instructions, which is hand washing in cold water with similar colors and laying it flat to dry, and also a cool iron if you need to. So pretty basic stuff, but like most of my clothes, I have attempted to wash it in the washing machine. I washed this on delicate cycle as well with a little bit of like delicate soap. And I've had no issues with the dress. And I've also hung it to dry, although I should probably start flat drying it in order to preserve the integrity of the dress itself. But otherwise, it is a very cute dress and I really have no complaints about it. Like, I very much enjoyed the fit. I love the print. I love the airiness of it. And I love how I can layer this dress. Because as it starts getting colder, because it is going to, I can just layer the dress and wear like a long sleeve shirt underneath or a turtleneck. Just the possibilities to dress this dress up or dress it down or to layer is like, there's so many options. Like, my brain is just like imagining all the different like combinations I could do with clothing, and I'm very excited to keep wearing this in the summer and also wear it in the winter time with like some nice warm clothes. So overall, this dress gets a 5 out of 5 bats, guys. Like, are you surprised because I was just shitting on the dresses this entire time? This is my favorite dress and I really like the way this dress is made, and it's felt and it feels like, see, I don't even got like the right words to describe it because it's just so nice and I love it. And I don't love a lot of things. I'm very opinionated about some things, as you can tell. But overall, really, really nice dress. 5 out of 5 bats for me. I got no complaints. And this dress is also still available and it's from their newest collection. So I'll have it linked down below for your convenience. And that's about all that I purchased from this Disturbia clothing haul. I did purchase one more item, which was a purse. I'll put a picture of my purse right here. With my little sanitizer bottle attached to it, because you know we're in those crazy times. I like it. It's a nice purse, carries my essentials and gives me a little bit of a spooky factor if you wanted to know any details about that. If you want a whole separate review on that purse, let me know in the comments and I'll gladly do it for you guys. But that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you found the video to be informative. Like always, these are just like my personal experiences with these items of clothing. And let me know in the comments below if you purchased from Disturbia and if you run into similar issues or if you run into different issues. I'd love to know because I want to purchase more clothing from them and I'd like to know what's in store for me. So I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are still washing your hands. Better be washing your hands. Wear a mask when you go out and take care of you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.